Welcome to the program.
Yes.
We are on live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook, and we are happy to have you here as we once again mangle the news.
There's a lot to be mangling this week, as there is every week, really. I mean, you just when you try to stop and take a breath, like just when I think, oh man, this week's show is going to be great. We got plenty of material. Another day happens and you have to scrap everything. And you're like, all right, back to the drawing board because there's almost too much to cover.
And why do we do this? The news is ridiculous right now, and people just get bummed out when they're watching the news. So we are your alternative program that has news.
Correct. We do.
We just mangle it around.
Exactly. Make you less depressed about it is our goal. We have high goals here. Right. Making you less depressed.
We begin with the President of the United States.
Once again, he takes something that probably, in the grand scheme of things, we could all champion. He wants to lower drug prices. I think we all, whether you like him, whether you hate him, whether you think he's the worst person in the world, whether you think whatever, I think we all can agree drug prices are too high. But even when delivering some good news, he can't get out of his own GD way on things.
He just has to do it weird. And yeah, it's been talked about for years. What do we do about these crazy drug prices and the weird phenomenon that the same drug in other countries cost a lot less? Well,
Correct.
Here's how the president describes this scenario.
I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine who's a businessman, very, very, very top guy. Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman. Serious.
I swear to God, I thought he was talking about himself.
He was there for a bit.
I thought that's where it was going.
Very confusing. But I love how even when describing someone, right, he's got a Don Rickles you. He's one of those guys where it's like, even if he's building you up, he's still got to take that. So it's like super successful guy, good guy, highly neurotic, really successful, good guy. So he's still got to take a shot at you.
Oh, yeah.
Even when he's trying to pump your tires.
A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug.
Okay. Would you...
What?
Can we just stop there for a moment?
Come on. We all know how the jingle goes. Ozempic. We all know that. That's all you have to do.
Right. But in his mind, it's still a pill. Because he starts with fat and then realizes that the pill is not a thing right now. Like they're moving towards the pill. And then he's like, well, I don't want to disparage any of Wegovy or Ozempic or whatever the hell it is. So I'm just going to call it the fat shot drug.
The fat shot drug.
Which sounds so much better, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
Ask for it by name at your doctor's office.
God, I want someone, please. Well, wherever you're watching, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, I want you to go ahead and then comment back to us. And by the way, you can comment right now on the live stream wherever you're watching from. I want you to go into your doctor's office next appointment and ask if you can get a prescription for the fat shot drug and see what they have to say.
And he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up and he said, President, he calls me, he used to call me Donald, now he calls me President, so that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy, very successful, very rich.
Hold on a second.
I don't know how we would know this, but because he's got
a crush. I think that's sweet.
I think it is too.
He's got a little Trump crush going.
But what's with the rough guy? So he's highly neurotic, he's overweight, he's super successful, but he's also a rough guy and a smart guy.
Yeah.
And he calls me president. Used to call me Donald. Could he give any more clues on who this could be? like if you, I'm not into the Trumpism as much as a bunch of other people, but if you're an ardent fan, I'm pretty sure you know who he's talking about at this point. He's giving you enough clues to connect the dots.
Oh, really?
I think if you are the Uber in the Trump realm, I think everyone in the Trump realm knows exactly who the hell he's talking about at this point.
Okay, I don't.
I don't either. I'm not deep into that, but I'm saying people who are know exactly who he's talking about.
I thought you had a guess.
Is what I'm saying. No. I think maybe some people are thinking it may have been Elon, but I don't know.
Oh.
And said, President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working.
What was that for? What was that for?
Just firing
this guy was a friend.
Right. If this now, I understand there are some relationships you have with friends and some group of friends where if you're not ribbing each other, then you're in trouble. Like that's the way they communicate. I don't feel like this is that type of friend. I feel this is just no matter where you are in Trump's orbit, he's going to take shots at you.
Yeah.
And so
remember,
go ahead.
President Trump is 212 pounds and 6 feet 8 tall. So that's so he thinks everybody is a lot fatter than him.
He's got an 18 pack underneath there, by the way, underneath that suit.
He said, I just paid $88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on? He said, so I checked. And it's the same box, made in the same plant, by the same company. It's the identical pill.
When RFK Jr. is giving you a look like, I'm not sure where you're going, that's something's wrong.
Correct. And there's Dr. Oz over there going, yep, I remember on my show, I always champion the fat shot drug. And by the way, now it's turned into a pill at the end of this story.
Right.
It's the same pill.
In New York. And here I'm paying $88 in London. In New York, I'm paying $1,300. Now, this is a great businessman, but he's not familiar with this crazy situation that we have.
He's fat.
But he was stunned.
Yeah, he's a stunned, fat piece of crap. Taking his fat shot drug, call me in the middle of the night. It's England over there when he calls. God knows what time it is here. I'm too busy. I am a fine specimen. Nothing ever hits these lips that would be bad. And yet here he goes. He's calling me about the fat shot drug.
But you're right. This is one of those moments where you can bring people in from both sides of the aisle, and he just makes it weird.
He does.
So it's just like, if he didn't make it weird, so now you've got at least half the country going, oh, for God's sakes, what is this now going on? When you probably could have a good portion of the country, because Republicans and Democrats alike, we've all gone to the pharmacy and said, "Jeez, is it this much?" And it's crazy. And that's ultimately
the lead.
Yeah, we want. That's what we want. But he's this winding story that just goes.
And I brought it up with the drug companies, represented by somebody who's very, very smart, good person too.
And now he just goes on.
Yeah, he's fat. Another good person. Yeah. I talked to the head of the drug companies.
The guy's in charge of the fat shot drugs. So the fat shot drug mafia comes in, and I'm talking about how expensive the fat shot drug is, which doesn't work. But that's also the part of this story that gets buried, is the fact that he's basically dumping on the fat shot of it doesn't work, because his fat friend who's calling from London, who's highly neurotic, rough guy, smart guy, successful guy, business guy, saying what's going on with this, and he calls it the fat shot drug and then says it doesn't work, and then it ends up being a pill at the end. And then he goes on, that's another 3 minutes of that clip, but then he goes on to talk about you're going to save 60, 80, 90%, but maybe more if you look at it mathematically. Mm-hmm. What in the actual hell are you saying? You buried the lead, man. You could have just said, I'm lowering drug prices. Ta-da.
Ta-da. See, there you go. I don't know why he doesn't call us to be advisors.
But no, he has to throw in the fat shot drug story. I got a great story. Can you imagine the speechwriter for that? When he's pitching the speech of like, hey, a lot of people are going to get behind this, can maybe a way to bring people in. And he goes, hey, I got a great story that could fit in right here to really kind of illustrate this point. It's my, the fat ass guy I talk to from London from time to time.
It makes you think that the person doesn't even exist. I mean, you think it might. Okay, so there's people saying that it might be Elon, but I don't know. It's such a weird, windy story that you go, this is his girlfriend in Canada that we never get to meet.
Could it be Russell Brand? I don't know. Maybe it was Russell Brand who called him from London. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. Just he can't get out of his own way. Oh, here's another story about the Prez.
Yeah, I didn't realize. He's got so many things going on. where he's selling different things. And one of the things he sells are Trump watches. And,
like Trump steaks were back in the day.
Yeah, but there's still there's the Trump Bible, there are Trump shoes, and there he goes on and on about selling these things. And this family, this husband in Rhode Island, bought one for his wife, and the T was missing, and so
oh no,
she ended up with a Rump watch.
It's ass time, my woman.
Model.
It has the pink and it has little fireworks on it.
Melanie Pettit likes the style, but it's what this watch does not have that makes it stand out.
I noticed it right away. The T is missing. It just says RUMP.
So it should say Trump.
Should say Trump.
Instead,
it says Rump.
I think that made it better, actually.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a Rump watch?
Yeah, it's like when a coin gets misprinted. It's probably worth more now.
Correct.
She has a
Anybody have a Trump
$640 Rump watch.
How could they process this?
$640, man.
For that? I don't know from watches because I don't wear them, but that doesn't look like a $640 watch.
And go through something without checking their work.
I'm very disappointed. I want it to be a special thing for her. And we had expected that it would have the integrity of the President of the United States and good follow-through.
The GetTrumpWatches.com site calls its products the official watches of President Trump.
Can we go back
Sure.
to when he was saying he wanted to be something nice and special for his lady?
Yeah.
This could be an invitation. Like I made the joke, but he can say, hey, you know what would be nice and special? A little rump time. I know we've been together for a very long time.
You think that's
But
what it
maybe
is? That he gave it to her, thinking, and then she didn't get the hint, and he went,
Correct.
"Oh, I mean, no, that's not what I meant. It's terrible. This is awful."
I think exactly. I think he special ordered it.
Yeah.
And said, "Hey, could you drop the T? I don't have enough. I'm not comfortable enough to bring it up right away. But this gorgeous watch may tell her I'm in for a little rump time. If we've been together a while, it's rump time."
I'm very disappointed. I want it to be a special thing for her. And we had expected that it would have the integrity of the President of the United States.
You're asking a lot to have happen there, I think, sir. I don't think the integrity of the President of the United States. He just does the commercial and takes a cut of the $640.
I'm sure you can say the same thing to the Trump University students and those who have Trump water and Trump steaks and Trump casino, all that stuff.
I thought we were going to have a little rumpy time, but there wasn't any.
Is that the guy? Is that the fat shot guy?
Yeah, I think it is.
Is that the friend who called about the fat shot? Not working.
And good follow-through.
The GetTrumpWatches.com site calls its products the official watches of President Trump, but in the small print, it notes that it licenses the Trump name and likeness. The site also states it has nothing to do with any political campaign, that the watches are not designed, manufactured, distributed, or sold by Donald J. Trump, the Trump Organization, or any of their respective affiliates or principals.
I think that someone needs to be aware of it in their licensing department, that someone's dropped the ball big time.
When the Pettits talk,
I didn't get any rump. I tried to get rump, but I didn't get any rump.
I can't even make that many
I
chins.
tried to get some rump time with my lady, and he ruined it. He ruined it. The integrity of rump time has been ruined by this department of marketing. God bless it. The
You can't be
licensing
subtle.
department.
You can't be subtle with the ladies. You got to be direct.
You got to let them know.
Yeah, you got to say what's on your mind.
Yeah.
to us earlier today, they were not satisfied with what they thought was a lack of response to the messages from the company.
And an apology would be nice for making my wife cry.
What?
She cried over rump time?
cried?
Well, if you just go there without letting them know, there may be some tears shed in rump time.
She cried.
BS. She did not cry about her rump watch.
I've
She may have
avoided
cried.
sex with him for years, and now I've got to do it because it says so on the watch.
Thanks, Mr. President. I got to see that hovering over me. Could you get him the fat shot drug for a cheaper price?
God.
Oh, God. She cried over it. Good Lord.
I don't know if I'm buying that one.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm buying that either. You know where it probably got delivered from, though? From Amazon, I'm probably sure. Him and Bezos are now buddies. And, we've heard stories of this before where the Amazon drivers are on such a strict schedule because when you order from Amazon, you want it fast, that they don't really have time to go to the restroom a lot when they're doing the deliveries, which brings us to this story out of Los Angeles, which immediately says, first line of the story, she was pulling double duty. This Amazon delivery driver. Yeah, exactly. Correct. You can't go there right away. So KTLA reported this. This happened on Mother's Day. They caught this on a Ring doorbell camera. The Amazon response was that we're deeply disturbed by the unacceptable behavior of this delivery driver and apologize to the customers involved. We immediately identified the driver, and they are no longer delivering on behalf of Amazon. So what happened in the early wee morning hours of Mother's Day is the driver is first seen on the home security camera walking away from one home, seemingly pulling her pants up with the sickening bowel movement left behind on the bottom set of outdoor stairs.
Oh, God.
At first, when I read this story, at first glance, I thought, I don't know if this person is doing it to be mean, right? I just think sometime nature calls. Maybe they pounded their coffee on the way out the door and had to go. I don't know if on the bottom stair is the best place to do it. There was probably some bushes closer. You could probably do it.
Yeah.
So
sometimes
there
a
seems
George
to be
Brett just shows up unexpectedly, though.
That's true. That is true. You never know. You get the rumble tums and it just comes out. And so I didn't think there was any malintent. But then I read further on in the story, and apparently this same driver has been caught once before. As if that wasn't enough, because of the pooping, a neighbor decided to check their security footage and caught the same delivery driver allegedly urinating inside a wooden gate at their home, and even appears to be staring right at the camera.
Well,
so maybe there was a little malintent. I don't know.
She's regular. She's on a schedule. This is the time when I poop. This is the time when I pee. And it just happens to be your house. I'm sorry.
I will say this, at least the urination part was behind a wooden gate. It was almost like she went in a stall. The poop part, that seems a little, I don't know, when you're doing it on the bottom stair. But to your point, sometimes those creep up on you. Sometimes, especially walking down a stair that early in the morning, like I said, I'm sure she had some coffee and it may have got things stirred up and she just couldn't make it anywhere else.
And that is a horrifying feeling when it just starts. I mean, it's just like the dam is broke and you're going, oh my God, what's happening now?
Yeah, that's the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. Mm-hmm. And so I can't blame someone for wanting to release it into the wild at that point, because when you're in that situation, it's just got to come out. Yeah. It doesn't matter where or how. It's just got to come out.
Look for cameras. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Or just find a bush. And if you can find a bush, make it over there. It's sad that she lost her job over this. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't know if I don't feel like there was malintent. I feel like nature called. There was probably a better way to handle it, but sometimes any port in the storm, and sometimes that port is the bottom stairs of the delivery you just met. At least it was the bottom of the stairs. It wasn't like she did it right outside your door next to the package. She was nice enough to distance herself and crap at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, because you have to do the thing. If it was at the top of the stairs, you have to do that thing where you get the hose and down one step and then down another step and just keep pushing it until it gets into the gutter.
Yeah, no one wants that. No one wants that. To wrap up this particular section, as we go from Trump to Rump to Dump, here is a quick video now for something completely different to put a nice little bow on this particular segment. I happened upon this earlier this week of a zoo over in China. Everyone's gathered around to see the hippo, but the hippo is backing that ass up, and while I can't understand because I don't speak Chinese. The general tone of the zookeeper is, "You're in a blast zone. Get the hell out the way."
I mean, they look like they're filled with gas.
Correct.
You know, it looks like at any moment they're going to fart.
Correct.
All right, so let's watch this. Let's watch this horrible event. What are we pixelating there?
Something may have come out. I'm not quite sure. Now pay attention. Pay attention to the a little bit to the left of the screen there. If you'll look in that red stroller, if you'll look, there's a child in there who, when the parents get the directive to get out of the blast zone, because they're staring right down the barrel of a fart gun right there. And they save themselves, and halfway through this fart is when they realize they have to go back and get the kid.
Oh no.
Yeah, watch.
Oh yeah, they totally left the kid behind.
They abandoned the child for a good 5 seconds of that fart, and then realize, oh no, we can't get that fart stink off of that kid. We got to get him out.
Is that what it sounds like? Why does that just sounds like a cartoon?
Because it's a hippo.
Well,
if any animal in the animal kingdom was going to have the perfect sounding fart, my first guess would have been hippo.
You're probably right.
To your point, they just look like they are made of gas.
Yeah.
Back. Here comes this lady into the frame, and she's like, "Oh, stinky."
Yeah. Wow. That'll get your attention.
Yeah, it will. This is getting the attention of people out in California, this next story.
More than 50 birds mysteriously explode, Mike.
How so? I remember there was that time when birds were just falling from the sky, but exploding?
Alarmed animal lovers are looking for answers as dead birds repeatedly plummet from the sky, with the carcasses quietly falling on the street. More than 50 dead birds have been removed from this one avenue in Richmond, California. Several witnesses describe hearing a loud crack before the birds plunged to the ground. One homeowner described how the creatures explode on impact in traumatic scenes. Sounds like they're getting shot.
God. A loud crack? Are getting shot, or they're hitting a wire or something? Maybe the telephone wire or electric wire there. You hear the crackle, and then they just explode on impact.
Yeah. Many of the homeowners fear a power line running across the street could be malfunctioning and electrocuting the birds, but the local power company has pointed the finger at a human aggressor, saying it's more likely a shooter with a BB gun, with explosive BBs, apparently.
Hollow point BBs exploding on impact.
One resident caught an incident on their Ring doorbell delivered to the local news station. The footage captured a loud cracking sound just as a bird in flight above roofs and power cables suddenly fell to the ground. Dozens of dead birds have been discovered on the street. It sounds like a kid with a BB gun just shooting them down. Exploding birds. Are they so? Do they just not have guns in California, and so it's completely foreign to them if somebody is actually shooting a gun?
Probably. I think that's probably the most likely scenario in this particular situation, because if they're exploding, they're not just spontaneously combusting. They're not the Spinal Tap drummers of the animal kingdom here, where they're spontaneously combusting.
Right. Because that's what I'm picturing is that they, it's just a poof of feathers. Like who was the baseball player?
Oh, Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson.
Oh, the big unit. Yeah, that was a guy that liked rump time. When he threw the fastball and just annihilated that bird.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. But it sounds like if you're hearing bang and a bird falls, I think it's a gun. Isn't that the most logical answer, Columbo?
I think it's the most logical, but the crack, them explaining it as a crack sound throws me for a loop. To me, that seems more electricity. It seems like it's either electricity or it's a bullet. Those are probably the likely scenarios, but I think you're more right than I am. I just feel like the choice of crack instead of bang or boom or an explosion seems to point to maybe electricity.
I mean, some of
But
the
you're
witnesses,
probably right.
Yeah, some of the witnesses say the exact same thing that people always say when they hear gunshots. It sounded like a firecracker, and then a bird plummeted to the ground.
That's a gun. That's a gun. If the cracking is a firecracker, then that's a gun. Come on, California.
Yeah,
Get with the times.
I just have a funny feeling that out in the left coast there, they just don't have guns, and so they can't even conceive that this is what's happening.
Yeah, that's probably the correct scenario. So we go from dead birds to a dead individual. Let's introduce you to this gentleman, Gary H. Wolfelt. And Gary H. decided he wanted to do the job of writing his own obituary. All right, so let me read to you Gary Wolfelt's obituary, and stop me at any point here, Johnny, if you feel like it's a sad story or if he's droning on a little bit too long. I'll try to just give you some of the highlights here. It begins with, "Hello, I'm Gary. I'm completely dead now. I'm surprised that it took this long to happen. I had several close calls throughout my lifetime. I guess that was just lucky that something didn't get me long before now. I had a long series of events and mishaps that, looking back, should have killed me long ago. Sometime during my grade school years, while I was the second baseman on the most losing team in Little League Baseball history, 0-20, I lost sight of a fly ball in the sun and got beamed right on the forehead. I guess that explains a lot of what happened later in my life."
We all got beamed in the forehead. Everybody got beamed in the forehead.
Yeah, Gary, you're not special. We all took one right in the head or the eye or something. Everyone's first black eye was from baseball.
Right.
You took a ground ball, hit you right in the face.
Yeah. Go on.
So he continues. "I guess that explains a lot later in life. In my 20s, my sister's horse kicked me real hard right in the gut. Any higher and my heart probably would have stopped. Any lower and I probably would have been singing soprano for the rest of my life." So he's saying he dodged death there.
Okay.
He continues. "In my 30s, I got hit by a car when I was crossing the street. It was my fault, as I was crossing against the light. It really knocked me the hell out, but I got up and brushed it off and went home with a torn up coat and kind of sore." So apparently he is like Superman here. Kicked in a gut, fine. Hit by a car, okay. "In my 40s, I was in the process of tearing down an old dilapidated building and was inside tying off a cable when the building came crashing down around me and a large brick chimney just missed falling on me by about 10 feet.
He does seem very accident prone.
Yeah, by now I'm beginning to think that there must not be any more room in heaven or hell for me, and so I just would be stuck in purgatory for a while longer. In my 50s, I got knocked down 19 stairs at my office by a couple 100-pound concrete-lined safe, which then landed on top of me and pinned me to the floor."
Oh, Gary.
He says, that one was the worst. He says, "I didn't get any body parts broken and no internal injuries, but I couldn't even pick my own feet up to get into bed for about a week."
Damn.
He said, "Thanks goodness for all the pain-killing drugs." So, beamed in the head as a kid, kicked in the chest by a horse in the 20s. The 30s, he gets hit by a car. 40 something almost falls on top of him. 50s, he falls down the stairs with the line here. And now we get that in the 60s. Where is he at? Yeah. So then when he turned in his 60s, he fell backwards off a scaffold from 10 feet up and cracked his head on a concrete floor.
God.
But he said that one turned out to be fortunate because it forced me to go visit my doctor who I hadn't seen in 3 years. And while I was there, he determined that I had prostate cancer. know why I'm laughing at this, but so I had just dodged another bullet, but then in my early 70s, the treatment failed, and I had to have my prostate surgically removed. Surgery went well, but then I developed an internal leak that nearly killed me. One more close call late in life.
It's leaking.
Yeah. I don't know what's leaking, but he had to get that cleaned up. He says, I cannot tell you here what sort of event eventually killed me, as I wrote this obituary before. Someone else will have to fill in the details later on, I guess. I really hate paying the Journal and Curry a lot of money just to let people who might be looking for me know that they can give up now. The chances are pretty good that you're not in my will anyway, so I will try to keep the rest of this obituary as short as possible. That's just the preamble for Gary.
Holy
I mean,
crap.
look at how much it goes on. It goes on and on and on and on. But Gary had a life. So he goes on like, yeah, he goes on and says he apologizes for certain things, that he was mean to somebody in 6th grade. Then he talks about his family and how his brother only tried to murder him once and his sister never did, but maybe the horse did on purpose.
God,
then he talks about his lovely wife, who she loved him more than he deserved, and his love of dogs. Here's a list of my life's most important accomplishments. I stayed lovingly married to the same woman for a long time. I cut about 100 cords of firewood. I fixed a lot of problems for a lot of people over the last 50 years. I paid all my bills with my own earnings. I only took welfare, parentheses, Social Security, after I retired.
Who's he arguing with at this point? I don't know who's he mad at. Who's he arguing with?
I don't know. He's just arguing.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, after all of that, he also has a PS and a PPS.
Yeah, look how long it just keeps going.
Yeah, his PS is, I also want you to know that I didn't intentionally vote for any socialists during my lifetime. So I am now the least bit responsible for the mess that America is in the moment. Okay. Work hard like I did and pay your own damn bills, says Gary. I got hit by a goddamn line safe after falling down 19 floors. But did I give up? No, you sons of bitches. I paid my own damn bills. By the way, his PPS is, according with my wishes, there'll be no funeral. I don't want people coming by to look at me all dressed up and stretched out in an expensive box, looking as bad as I'll probably look in completely dead condition. In lieu of flowers, please keep please keep the money, I should say, and take yourself out for a nice dinner or do something nice for someone else. Maybe after a while, some of my friends might get together and have a party on my behalf. I'll try to remember I have a nice full-size stand-up cardboard cutout of myself available for the event. I'm pretty sure someone will want to claim it for a dartboard afterwards. And then his wife added on some of the other stuff of when his celebration of life will be, which will be coming up this Monday, the 19th. Not a funeral, celebration of life of one Gary Wolfeld.
Yeah, I get I don't know. He seems kind of ornery, and I don't know that he was that fun to be around in life.
I think he drones on a bit.
I think so, too.
You could have stopped at, you could have really cliff notes all the shit that happened to you of being in the head, kicked by a horse, fell down some stairs, had a safe on me, fell off a ladder, had the prostate cancer, had a leak in the prostate cancer, and then kind of wrapped it up there. I appreciate the effort, though, Gary. You made it to this show. I'm sure that was one of the things you really wanted in life.
Well, one of the elements in Project 2025, remember hearing about that during the election? One of the elements in there was to supposedly outlaw or somehow ban pornography.
No, what are you doing?
I mean, the toothpaste is already out of the tube. I just don't think you can do it at this point. It's been tried plenty of times.
You can try to put the age restrictions on and make everyone sign in, but if there's one thing we know about people in general is we're going to turn it into a sexual thing at some point.
We always find a way. That's Senator Mike Lee from Utah filed a bill called Interstate Obscenity Definition Act, IODA. He's seeking to establish a definition of obscenity, yes?
Oh, I was going to say that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And IOTA is not great for
to identify and prevent obscenity from being transmitted across state lines. The term obscene or obscenity, when used in a manner or context that explicitly refers to or could apply to picture, image, graphic, image, film, videotape, or other visual depiction, includes a picture, image, graphic, file, film, videotape, or other visual depiction that, taken as a whole, appeals to the prurient interest in nudity or sex or excretion. Gross,
Ooh,
Senator Lee.
gross. Come on. You're wearing a suit to work and you use the term excretion?
I don't think he understands.
Disgusting.
I don't think he understands what porn is.
I don't think he does either. By the way, do you have to cover videotape in there?
No.
Is there still someone out there who is like, I got to get all my stuff on videotape? I got the original Debbie Does Dallas here in my hand.
I tell you, I drove past one of those just hole-in-the-wall video stores that clearly only has adult films, but on the window it says romantic movies XXX.
Hey, if Rump Watchman is still watching here, that's what you can do for your lady friend, the romantic movies. How are those places still in business too, by the way?
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking it's a front for someplace.
Probably. They're just laundering some money. Because I don't know how many people are going for DVDs or videotapes anymore. They're Mr. Lee and your excretions.
Here's further explanation of what pornography is. If it depicts, describes, or represents an actual or simulated sexual act or sexual contact, actual or simulated normal or perverted sexual acts, or lewd exhibition of the genitals, with the object intent to arouse, titillate, or gratify the sexual desires of a person. And 3, taken as a whole, lacks serious literacy, artistic, political, or scientific value.
That's a lot to unpack there. Especially, what's the difference between normal and read the second part again? Because there's something where he talks about the acts being normal or perverted.
Yes. Actual or simulated normal or perverted sexual acts, or lewd exhibition of the genitals, with the intent to arouse.
When does it cross that line from normal to perverted? Because you're perverted, maybe someone else is normal.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Senator.
No, you're right. You're right.
The senator from the great state of Florida would like to take the stand here real quick. I would like to point of parliamentary procedure, sir. Someone else is perverted. Maybe you're perverted. Maybe someone else is normal. I just want to get that on the record. Can we have that in the congressional library now, please? Thank you.
Now, the article does say that the likelihood of this passing is pretty slim, but he is just doing this to obviously make a big point of some sort. I don't know what. It's not gonna
How
could you? That's again another one. That's another unifying. Porn is unifying. Porn is unifying.
Yes.
And
anybody who says, go ahead.
No, I just think if you ban it, Republicans and Democrats alike are going to say you've crossed a line.
I would agree wholeheartedly. Correct. I would agree wholeheartedly because you may say you've never seen it or never watched it, but you'd be a liar. Mm-hmm. Everyone at least once in their life has viewed some sort of it.
You know, it's funny. He mentions something about what was that line in there? It has serious literacy, artistic, political, or scientific value. I remember when I was in middle school, which is prime time when you're just looking for boobs. I mean, you're just anywhere you can find it.
Oh, well, you're going to love the next story then.
And there was a local cable channel that was broadcasting classes from the community college, so that you could sit home, watch these classes, and get some sort of college credit.
Okay. And
one of the classes was a nursing class, and it just happened to be breast examination day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mark that on your calendar.
And so I'm clicking through the channels, and all of a sudden I stop on breast examination day, and my mind just went, what am I watching? This is incredible. I mean, it was absolutely.
What's this on my TV?
Yeah, absolutely clinical. You know, with the gown and the thing and the and they're doing this. But when you're 13, that's enough. That's enough.
Oh, that's all you need. That's all you need at 13. At 13, the Frederick the Hollywood catalog comes to your house, and that's all you really need. Like, oh my God, they're showing that in a catalog? Screw you, Sears.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this one instead.
Well, I mean, but even the Sears, when you get to the ladies' underwear section, there are some pictures in there where you go, I got an imagination.
Yes, at that age, any much like the Amazon driver, any port in a storm, and you were just like, what do I have that's available? That. Will that be banned, Mr. Lee? Will that be banned? Well, this cake will be banned.
Hey.
Yeah. So this woman is surprised, which I find hard to believe. She posted this cake for her 3-year-old son on social media, and now she's shocked that people are upset about it.
People have an opinion.
Jeannie Cower, 39, got the novelty cake for her 3-year-old son. The mother of 2 posted pictures of the dessert on Insta and was stunned when it went viral, with thousands of people sharing the. Why are you stunned? You share a cake like that for a 3-year-old. That's going to happen. A lot of people said they were shocked at it being inappropriate. Now, I will say this. As someone who once saw an erotic cake, which I can't believe that's still a thing.
Yeah.
How is that also still in business? How is the erotic cake business still part of our vernacular?
How do you describe to the bakery what you want if this is what you want?
Well, you got to go to the right baker, I guess.
I guess so.
And then you got to describe, I want ample cup, but not too much, because I don't want people to get a tummy ache. I don't have that many guests coming over. I don't need double D's. Just a nice C cup will feed the people that are coming to my party today. But yeah, I saw one. My mom got my dad one for a birthday. I don't know, whenever. And it had like the icing pubes, and it had like the actual boobs and stuff. And it was just like, what?
Icing pubes?
Yeah.
Terribly unappetizing. I just
you don't want to eat
it. It's like, bleh.
That is not the first place that people cut into, by the way. They went top first on that erotic cake. I'm pretty sure. I didn't actually watch anyone eat the cake. It was kind of like it came in too early, pardon the pun. Right. And then I was immediately shuffled to bed of like, this is an adult party. Go to your room. But yeah, so this woman got the cake for her 3-year-old because she said she wanted it to be kind of a Last Supper situation because she was trying to wean him off breastfeeding. So she was basically making a joke that this is the last boob you're going to eat.
Like the 3. Oh, she spells Cameron with a K. Like the 3-year-old is going to absorb all of that.
Not at all. He just wants the damn cake.
He wants cake.
It was going to be the last time breastfeeding on his birthday as soon as he cut the cake, sort of like the Last Supper. We explained it was the last time, but instead of him being happy, he was sad. He was very vocal saying he wanted his booba, which is why I had the cake made for him.
He shouldn't be saying booba.
You shouldn't be saying booba at age 3.
Yeah.
She had a breastfeeding.
I want my booba.
Breastfeeding is working for me, so what's everyone's problem? There's so much pressure in society to stop. Nobody's ever said, carry on. I'm feeling I have to justify it. So then she throws it on everyone else saying, you're sexualizing this cake. Boobas aren't sexual in nature. They're nature's gift to our children. Is that a good way to wean him off boobs, is to give him a boob cake to eat?
Right. With a very fancy bra.
It is very fancy.
That's not just a normal functional bra.
No. She went, it's a birthday, Johnny.
Yeah.
She wanted to do something nice. It's a birthday. That's a birthday bra she's got going on there.
That's a bra for showing.
Teaching him. It is for that bra. That cake wanted to be seen. That cake's like, hey world, look at me and what I'm packing. But you're right. They're 3 years old. They're not going to get it. This was all about them trying to go viral, and they've succeeded in a way.
I guess so. And yes, there's going to be pictures when he's 16 and everyone's going to have a big laugh and he's just going to be going, what were we doing? What was this all about? Why were you doing this?
Why did you have the booba cake for me at this point? It just, if you're at that party, by the way, and it's like, oh, time to cut into the 3-year-old's cake, and they roll in the booba cake, what is your reaction at the party? Because you got to tell people beforehand, right? You got to, when they come in, you got to be like, hey, I got a tit cake coming in for the 3-year-old. So just be aware that the tit cake's rolling in here very soon.
Do you think, going back to Senator Lee, do you think there's ever been a cake where the erotic cake company said, we're not doing that?
Oh, the perverted cake?
Yeah. Do you think there's one where people call in and just it completely crosses the line and they go, I'm sorry, we can't make you one of those? I would love to know.
I think you're probably right. And I don't know exactly what would be too much, but I think if people were asking for the veins to be a little throbby, that may be where they're just like, we only do a certain kind of dick cake, and we're not getting that into the minutia of designing it in quite the way you're wanting.
Because really, it's just boobs, butts, or peen, and there's nothing else. There's really nothing else that a sexy baker would make.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a rump time cake like that's more focused.
Yeah.
I don't know for certain, but I mean, the cake maker back in when I was growing up made the bush, so I don't know what would be too far.
Really, they figured out how to make pubic hair out of frosting.
It wasn't that difficult. They just kind of layered it. I mean,
I guess.
Obviously, it's a memory that is stuck in my head because at age, I think, maybe 6, that was the first time I saw boobs and bush, and I was like, I don't know, what's this all about? Someone's going to go to town on that.
I mean, I would love, comment below if you've ever called an erotic, or if you are an erotic cake maker. Has anybody ever pushed the line where you've had to say, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen? I don't know what that would be.
That's just too much.
Yeah.
That is just too much. It would have to be, And you know what? I don't want to speculate. Continue on to the next story here, because this guy had some power tools.
We take you to Louisiana, where Slidell police had to respond to a call Sunday evening and then found a naked man inside a shed engaged in lewd behavior. A witness
He's trying to find some privacy.
A witness reported a naked man inside one of the store's outdoor tool sheds, which are typically used to show customers various storage options for purchase. Officers arrived and began searching the sheds, just banging on the doors. Anybody naked in there?
Hey.
Bang, 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 bang. They then opened the 4th or 5th shed, and they located the suspect lying on his back, pants around his ankles, and an open container of Vaseline and an electronic device with taser drawn, which the guy was probably going, oh yeah, this is exactly how I hope this is. Now I'm really turned on.
Correct.
The police said, pull up your pants and raise your hands. Roll onto your stomach. The man complied without resistance.
You can't roll onto your stomach at that point.
You can't.
There's something that's very making it difficult for you to do that.
The man admitted to his actions and said, officers, I was just watching YouTube. I was watching Mike and Molson Mangle the news.
It got me so jazzed when they showed that booba cake, I couldn't contain myself anymore.
The man is not from Slidell, Louisiana, so he was just a stranger passing through, had an urge, and couldn't find a place for a little bit of privacy. And he's like, it's Sunday night, nobody's buying a shed tonight. I'll just sneak in here, take care of business. Don't bother me. And sure enough,
the lying on my back, he was on concrete, I'm assuming, right?
I don't know, maybe he pulled a bag of mulch in there.
And to pull your pants all the way down?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on with that guy that's
He's a pro.
Wrong on so many levels.
He's a pro. Where doers get more done.
At Lowe's. Check out the weed whacker on this guy. Laying down with your butt just pressed against the concrete, pants all down to your ankles with your Vaseline and your phone.
Well, and let's Let's chat about masturbation for just a moment. Hi, welcome to the live stream.
Right,
Johnny,
exactly.
that's
Well, come
Mike.
on in. Why did I say that? Poor choice of words. Poor choice of words.
You know, I don't know. You need some focus. You need things to kind of be quiet around you. You can't really have any distractions. You can't have a baseball game on in the corner. I just don't know how you sneak into a shed at a Lowe's on a Sunday night and can get yourself, and you're just watching YouTube.
That's all you're doing. You're watching, just watching Caroline in the City repeats on YouTube.
I mean, that really, you got to really be cranked up, I think.
You really do. And to go about it in that fashion of, I'm going to sneak into the shed. I'm going to be lying on the ground, pants to my ankles, just holding up the YouTube and then swapping some Vaseline around. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's that whole story's goofed.
Yeah,
that whole story
is
just goofed.
Messy. You can never get it all off.
No, I don't.
But that's the least of his problems.
Yeah, exactly. My lips were chapped as well, so I just,
right.
so it just so happened, and I had dry skin, and it just kept going down to my pants on my ankles.
But it's interesting that he admitted that he was doing, in fact, what the police thought he was doing. But he tried to tamp it down by saying, "I was just watching YouTube," so it was not freaky.
That makes it worse, doesn't it?
I think it does.
Like, I'm not a degenerate. I was only cranked up watching a YouTube video. It was not the porn that Mike Lee is banned for us from watching.
What's the zany thing that Mr. Beast is doing this week?
Oh man, giving away $5 million really gets me going. He's such a nice man. Oh yeah, give away that money. Beast Games. Yeah, no thanks.
We like it when people faint.
Yes.
And this host, there's guest on Fox, was right in mid-sentence, and it's fascinating. You know, we looked at a bunch of fainting videos a couple of weeks ago. If you go search our YouTube page, you'll be able to find it.
We should link that in the comments below somehow.
We'll link that in the comments below somehow. Are you back? Okay.
Yes.
And this just happened recently with this guest on Fox, who it's really bizarre because she's speaking and speaking and speaking, and then the brain just kind of stops, and she just shuts everything down.
So this is about incompetency. It's not about ideology, or it's not about.
Oh my goodness! We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia, the President, we're going to go to a break.
There
right
you
here.
go. That's what you do. You go to break.
What are you doing, idiot?
Continue the segment with her laying on the ground.
It's like, cut to the right camera, get me back in frame. I'm going to go back to the Lydia who's not fainted, and let's continue on with the show.
Yeah, we've got an important point to make.
And you can see her scrambling for words where that's where the mechanism's starting to shut down. Mm-hmm. And it's like somebody hit the off switch. Like she's babbling, she's trying to grab her words, and then it's just out.
And you know, just like the black tunnel of it, it's just closing in and closing in, and that's why she's umming and humming, and I'm not sure what to say next. And down she goes. Down goes Frasier.
Oh my goodness! We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia, the President, we're going to go to a break right here. We'll be right back.
What an absolute a-hole.
Yeah,
he just stares at her twice. Never, like, your first instinct I understand the show must go on, right? That's what most people say. But as a normal human, your first instinct should be, let's go to break and get down there and try to prop her head up instead of saying, hey, let's get somebody else out here to help her. I'm going to go to Lydia.
Let's dissect this a little slower.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help here.
He doesn't even go to help her when she's falling. Like, at least Glenn Beck in that clip that we showed a while back tried to reach the hand out like, you okay, you okay, you okay. He just sees her go down and he's just like, timber, let you fall.
Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Would you?
It's interesting that he got "oh my goodness" out before she hit the ground.
He did. As she was going down, he's like, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she didn't even hit yet.
Thud. That was a heck of a thud.
What a dick.
Yeah. Well,
That guy's
thankfully,
total
you can see the
a-hole.
guy in the back there. He's running to place. But again, we have a very adept cameraman who zooms out so that you can see the whole thing happen. It's incredible.
Correct. When they're going down, you got to see it.
I don't know if that's just cameraman instincts or what it is, but
Technical director knowing the good shots, the money shots.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah.
Zoom back.
kept her in frame. Yeah, kept her in frame.
Yeah. Great job.
Yeah.
I hope she ended up being okay.
She's fine. She's fine.
Let's go to Lydia to find out.
I hope she was. I hope she was talking about how addled and incompetent Biden is. A guy can't even finish a sentence and can't walk across a room, and then she just wiped out.
That'd be poetic justice, as they say. That's a nice lead-in, though, to Twismo.
It was. That was not our This Week in Slo-Mo, but this is This Week in Slo-Mo. Time to play billiards with this young couple. And I think, even without watching it, you kind of know what's about to happen.
I see the setup there where she's standing in the wrong place. I don't know if a hand's going to get hit or exactly what's going to transpire, but it's not going to, unless there's a twist like with the drunk girls that we had a while back in Twismo. But I feel like I kind of got this one nailed, but I still want to see it.
It's a quickie.
Oh! Oh, God. Oh.
Kapow.
That's a cue ball. Like, we've all played pool or billiards at some point in our life. There's some heft to those. It's one thing to get beaned by a baseball, but those things are, ugh.
Have you ever had your fingers just over the felt?
No,
the ball comes
thank God.
and hits. I mean, yeah, they're solid. They are absolutely like a rock.
Yes.
And so, yeah, she just gets absolutely beaned.
Obliterated. Oh! That's a shattered orbital bone.
I mean, it seems like she gets it right in the forehead, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Ah. He's a terrible pool player, by the way.
Where did it...
Is that a first date, do you think?
It does kind of look like it. It does. You're right. It does sort of have putt-putt vibes, doesn't it?
It does. Like, I'm going to show off my pool skills, my billiard skills on this first date. You stand down there and you watch how good I am at breaking the balls right here instead of breaking your head open.
Oh, God.
Oh. Just exploding.
And so now let's zoom in as far as we can here. So we'll watch this in its gruesome Zapruder film Slo-Mo.
Oh, not even time to react. Like, she can't even duck.
No.
Like, that thing's coming in hot and just bong. Like I said, orbital bone broken.
Yeah. Right there. Bang.
That's when you know it's over.
Oh my God. Yes, her neck snaps back.
To her credit, she stays upright for a moment.
Yeah.
And then finally gets down on a knee. And realizes, oh, son of a bitch, this hurts.
That was, yeah. You're right. It doesn't hurt immediately because the adrenaline is just going all over the place, and then
Right.
just throb.
Go back, right? Just back one sec. You can see when it comes off the cue. There's that point where, right about when he's lining it up, and he just shanks it. The cue is coming through, and the ball is just right there, and you know it's all going awry.
Yeah, he went under the ball completely, and just he would have done less damage if he would have picked it up and thrown it at her.
Correct. I don't think he had that good an arm.
But because of the momentum and the physics that's involved in the pool cue, this thing is going fast.
Yes. Because the follow through, I think, is what the follow through with the cue is, I think, what throws her off, because she's afraid the cue is coming at her. Because I mean, that's some effing follow through for that guy.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of like when you're golfing or even in baseball, the ball is going to go where the bat swings.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And same thing there. You can see how he's holding the cue. He's pointing right at her head. It's doing exactly.
He Babe Ruthed it. He called his shot. He's like, right there.
Yep.
Ba-bam.
There's where it's going. Yeah. Like a wand, like a magic wand. It just follows it.
It's Harry Potter. Ta-da! Rises Ballus. Oh, the monkey phone's ringing to wrap things up.
Yeah,
I think I know who it may be.
Let's go to the monkey phone and say hello. You're on with Mike and Molson. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, let's see. Worst shot I'll ever make. I screwed up on the break. A cue ball to the head. I think she might be dead. See me next time at the wake.
Ta-da! Yes. Way to wrap it up, Poet Laureate. Always putting a nice bow on the show.
Can't ask for much more than that. Can't ask for much more than that. It just sounds like a coconut. It sounds like an absolute coconut.
Oh, yeah. That poor lady. At least he comes over and helps her, though, and doesn't try to go to Liddy at the next table. Oh, that's just a sickening thud.
Yeah. Be glad it's not you, folks. Just be glad it's not you.
If you had a rough Wednesday, at least you didn't take a cue ball right in the dome.
All right. Thank you very much for going on this ride with us. Mike and Molson Mangle the News on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Wherever you are watching, we appreciate it. And watch for the quickies that are on YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube.
Yes. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word. Just trying to have a little fun on your Wednesday.
Because if you have this this one moment in the show where you go, I've got to share this with friends, it'll be up there. So go ahead and search all the nonsense that is there. All right. We will see you next week, 6 o'clock Eastern and 5 o'clock Central. Take care.
You do.